way. Like,
yeah, rapport is really crucial, because if you don't have rapport with someone, you can't respond to you. You need to know what they're interested in if you're going to give them something that they're interested in, right? If you don't know someone's interested in football, or if you get these interests completely wrong, if you just assume they're interested in football because they're a boy and actually they have no care about it, then it's not going to work, right? If you, whatever you're going to incentivize someone with, you need to know the incentives in the first place. So intelligence, and not intelligence in the like I can solve hard problems, but intelligence in the terms of knowing things like intelligence between different countries doesn't mean people in one country are cleverer than another. It means one country knows more about another country than another, right? And that kind of intelligence, knowing stuff about them, is really, really crucial, because if you know stuff about them, it makes it possible to do all these other things. And rapport is very much a sense of mutual trust and understanding. You understand them and they understand you. And that good rapport and developing rapport, that relationship between the student and teacher, becomes crucial, because it gives you the ability to identify what's going to incentivize them, what is the direction they want to move in, what are their immediate, what things would give them immediate satisfaction. If you don't know any of these things, then you're going in blind and you can't succeed. So often, I mean, I've had situations where I've had difficult students, and the first step is to build that rapport without really doing very much academic at all. And you have to kind of prepare clients and parents for this and say, look, if they really, really dislike physics and you want me to teach them physics, the first lesson will not have any physics in it. And here's the reason why. I need to help them to understand what I'm here for and all this. But then you build that rapport, and then it becomes possible to identify, well, where am I going to start putting in the references to physics, the exposure to physics in a context that they will be interested in, that will then start moving, bending that curve, that trajectory towards actually starting to learn physics, wanting to learn physics, feeling successful by learning physics. Because if they start off on lesson 1, where they think, if I learn anything about physics, it's completely irrelevant to me and I have no interest in it, then that's not going to be successful then. I've had students like that, until eventually they started asking me questions about quantum mechanics. And the parent in one case was like, what has happened? But the way I did it in that context was just by lots of exposure to quantum mechanics, because I knew this was something which they would find interesting, because it sounds really cool, and it sounds like if you master quantum mechanics, it's like this stereotypically massively challenging thing to do. Now, I'm not teaching them extraordinarily detailed mathematical calculations of wave functions or anything. I just wanted to get across the basic idea. But then once they could repeat to their parent what the basic fundamental idea of quantum mechanics is, they felt great. They were like, I'm not a failure in physics anymore because I know quantum mechanics. Now, how much they know about quantum mechanics was irrelevant. The fact they can answer the question, what is quantum mechanics, was good. And the way I got them to ask that question in the first place was just by referring to it several times strategically in discussions that were not about physics at all.
Planting the seed.
Yeah, and then by constantly dripping it in there, eventually they started going, oh, I don't even know, quantum mechanics is so hard. I'm like, oh, it's not that hard, really. It's just about this. Stopping short of giving them the full answer, because I knew full well that we'd keep talking about something else. I would keep dripping it in. Eventually, on lesson 3, they were like, okay, can you just explain to me what quantum mechanics is? Because they'd already had enough of this drip feeding. And by lesson 3,
right?
and by lesson 3, I had a student that was asking me about what quantum mechanics is, completely understanding the answer, and a parent that thought I'd waved magic wands, because they were like, this kid absolutely hates physics. The whole rationale was, my child hates physics. Can you start getting them through GCSE before they fail it and get you? And that was the way we went about it. Now, quantum mechanics, again, this intrinsic, extrinsic motivation overlap zone, quantum mechanics is not on the IGCSE physics course. There is nothing meaningful about quantum mechanics that's on that course. But understanding a bit about quantum mechanics certainly helps in some of the aspects about energy. And it was a way of turning that around a little bit. So if I'd just gone in and gone, right, you've got to learn electromagnetism, they were not necessarily very enthusiastic about that.
I want to.
Yeah, and they were like, well, I'm opposed to electromagnetism because I've got bad experience with it. They've got no prior experience of quantum mechanics. It was a way of me turning that corner and saying, well, if you understand quantum mechanics, the rest of it's easy. And they fully bought into this idea, because it's kind of a social thing that had been ingrained into them, that quantum mechanics is like the pinnacle of physics, it's so super hard. So it was a way of twisting their prejudices back on themselves and saying, well, if you've already mastered the toughest bit, then surely solids, liquids, and gases is just easy. And then, oh yeah, okay, fine. Then no, the barriers they had in their mind of I'm not clever at physics started to break down quite quickly. Hence why that particular student was really pleased.